Hello, Libra. Welcome to your 15 Tarot Scope. This is Gwendolyn, and I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been subscribing and liking and sharing, and also to those who have been booking personal readings with me. It's been really fun to do those for you. So I just wanted to say thanks to everyone for that. I've pre-shuffled the cards here for Libra, and we're just going to go straight into your Tarot Scope for Libra. And also, if some of you have often asked me about which deck I use, this is the Morgan Greer deck. I really love it, and I love how vibrant the colors are and just the imagery of it. So if you're interested in this deck, I'm putting a link to it in the description of the video. Let's see what's coming up for you, Libra. Okay, so in the first part of the month, what I'm seeing is that this is very likely you, Libra, because Queen of Swords is an air sign. So this could either be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. There's a way in which an air sign is involved. She's upright. She is someone who is really clear on her mental state. Swords represent the mental element, and because you're a mental element sign, this is very likely you. So she is a woman of conviction. She is willing to debate on things. She's often very witty, but she can be somewhat cutting in her remarks too. So she is just very strong-willed and knows her own mind. That's Queen of Swords. So this is very likely you. And this is also master of the mental element. Just like King of Swords, she is right next to King of Swords in terms of they're the royal court of the of swords and mentality. So she knows her own mind for sure. So she knows what she wants also. With this Two of Cups right next to it, this is relationship. This is an affair of the hearts. The cups energy is heart energy, so it's an exchanging of the hearts, and you can see within relationships. So this is a love affair. This could either be within your current relationship or what you want in a relationship, or, right next to this, I'm seeing, a woman who knows what she wants, and this is in terms of relationship. So it could be that you're just really clear on what you want in a relationship, or that you're trying to decide on what you want in a relationship, or evaluating how does this affair or this relationship hold up to ideals. Is it along the lines of what Queen of Swords would tolerate or want? Is she getting her needs met? And for you, Libra, this is a huge Libra's all about partnership. That's one of your main focuses. You guys rule you live in the 7th house, which is the natural house of partnership. So this is a big thing for you, Libras, and this is you as I'm reading it in the situation. And then this is and this could be male or female, but she's presenting as Queen of Swords. So who are you in relationship? What are your values? What are your convictions? What are your ideas about it? And is this, since this card is showing up, there is relationship energy. So either it's saying, how is the current relationship holding up to my ideals? Or what is it that I want in terms of relationship? If you're not currently in one, what would you like for it? Or what are your ideas about it? This is huge relationship energy beginning of the month for you. And then I see, in some ways, there's some sort of battle that's going on with a King of Rods person. So King of Rods is, first of all, he's kind of an eccentric. He's someone who is bold, charismatic, does things in his own unique way. He doesn't do things in a run-of-the-mill way. He's the King of Fire. So traditionally, this is Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries person. It could be a male because it's King of Rods. It could be female, but more than likely it's a male. And there's some way in which you're battling him. This is battlefield, picking up the pieces, or you've just gone through like a heavy-duty encounter with him. He could even be the person who's depicted in this card. It could be that your relationship, the Queen of Swords and the King of Fire or the King of Rods are having some sort of altercation. This could be you trying to work things out with him, or asking, does this relationship hold up to my ideals? We've been battling a lot, and he's actually like looking away from the situation. So it may be that you used to have this sweet love affair of the heart, or that's something that you wanted, and now he's in reverse. He's looking away from the situation. It could also be that you're experiencing all these things having to do with relationship and your convictions towards it, but that this battle with this King of Rods person is directing your attention away from it, or that you're kind of preoccupied with it. This could be like a father figure or a landlord or an older man. So that there may be some way in which your battle with this older man is bringing this stuff up for you. In some ways, they're related. He could be the person that is involved with this relationship focus. You could even like really be enjoying a love affair with him, and then he's out of the picture suddenly after you have this battle or this fight. So there's a number of different ways that can present, but this is definitely focus and preoccupation on relationships at the beginning of the month. There is some love affair available to you at the beginning of the month, Libra, and that's definitely, even if it's just in terms of identifying what it is your thoughts and ideals are towards relationship. So that's beginning of the month. You're also in line with this King of Coins. So there may be a way in which the King of Rods is out of the picture. You've been fighting with him, and then there's this new love affair with the King of Coins. That's very possible. The fact that these two are in the upright position, he's an ally to you right now. Again, this could be someone else. Could be a different type of king. This is usually the King of Resources. He's grounded. He's in charge of the finances. This usually corresponds to one of the earth signs, like Taurus or Capricorn or Virgo. So it could be that you are, having a nice bond with this King of Coins person. So that's very possible. Or that they be coming into your life or providing a certain type of role. They actually could be also coming to your aid. This is a card, 5 of Rods is a card of struggle or a card of fighting. As you can see, they're all just like fighting, But it's also, on the playful side, it can be like competitiveness, games. It could be like playing. Because it's in reverse, I'm seeing that King of Pence or King of Coins may be coming to your defense, or even fighting this King of Swords person off. This is your natural mate. This is your natural partner. So Queen of Swords and King of Swords are normally a pair, but the fact that he's down here and in reverse, and there's this card about fighting with him and the king. There's a lot of, if you can see, there's 3 kings that are in this reading. You've got the King of Coins, the King of Rods, and the King of Swords. So there's all these kings surrounding this queen, or involved with this queen. The King of Pence is the one who's kind of like you're allied with or aligned with, or who's going to come to your aid. He's willing to fight off this King of Swords. This could have been a past relationship, or this could be somebody who thinks that they know best. King of Swords usually has very good judgment. He's the king and the master of the thought realm. But in reverse, it's saying that maybe he's not making such great decisions. Maybe he's not in allegiance with you. Maybe there's a lot of fighting that's associated with him. All of these people are in positions of authority. King of Rods, King of Coins, and Queen of Swords and King of Swords, but there's some fighting going on, especially between this King of Coins and the King of Swords. So if there's a guy who's in charge of resources and there's a guy who's in charge of making decisions, those two are definitely at odds with one another. And it seems as though the King of Coins is more in allegiance with you. You'd be in partnership with him, or there's some way in which he is an ally. And right now, King of Swords is not. There'd be 2 guys that are not of benefit to you right now. In fact, there's this card of 6 of Wands where they used to be the hero or the guy on the white horse or the rescuer, or the guy who comes in riding on the white horse. He's got a lot of hero, triumph, rescuer energy. But he's not being that. He's fallen off of his horse, or, he thinks he's the rescue. He thinks again, I'm getting a lot of energy of like, he thinks he knows best. He thinks he needs to come save you, or he wants you to be in that role of the princess that he comes and saves, or the person, like if this is if Libra, if you're a male, this could be that this is a father figure, or that daddy knows best. So in some ways this represents someone coming in on their high horse and thinking that they have all the decisions, or know everything, and it's just not true. And King of Coins is helping you fight against that kind of whoever's trying to present themselves as your king or your savior, and you're not in alignment with that right now. Towards the end of the month, you have Knight of Rods, you have Empress, you have Five of Cups, and then you have Hanged Man. So one of the things that I'm seeing immediately is that this Five of Cups is in alignment with this battlefield. So whatever conflict you have had with the King of Rods, you feel towards the end of the month, you feel some sadness towards it, or you may be focused on what you've lost. The Five of Cups is a card of loss and grief, and this is focusing on the blood or the wine that's spilled. It's sort of like a sadness about what has happened here in the Five of Swords. But one of the things too in this card I always point out is that there's still two cups standing. There's still something available to you. It's funny because it kind of echoes this Two of Cups. You still have this relationship to fall back on, or you still have your ideals about relationship. There's still a relationship available to you here. Your focus is just not on it at the end of the month. You may be kind of sad and remorseful and grieving about what happened here, and it may be related to this Knight of Swords. So like if you had gone through a divorce with a Knight of Swords person, this could be the battlefield that you encountered, having to do even with both of these men, and then you're just kind of grieving about it towards the end of the month. It tells me you're going to be able to handle it because you're just letting the grief happen. You're just sort of sorrowful, which is okay. You can just go through that. But you just need to go through grief to get to the other side of what's available to you. The other Two of Cups that are still standing. Knight of Rods is a young man who is willing to experiment with things. He's willing to be bold, courageous. He's not quite as confident as this king character. Like the king will go after what he wants. He'll just go do things in a bold, confident, charismatic, eccentric manner. Knight of Swords is on his way to that. He's right before that. Queen and King of Rods are right before him, but he experiments with different things. So he's a knight, so he can be kind of like cocky. He can be charismatic and romantic. And in the rider weight, he's on a horse whose two legs are up in the air, so he kind of can go for it. But sometimes he can be a little too cocky or aggressive, or there's the side of when someone is courageous, but then there's also the side where they're foolhardy. That's what Knight of Wands energy is all about, is finding the balance between being too cocky and too heady, or too full of oneself, and then balancing it with being able to actually be courageous, being bold, being daring. So it's kind of like balancing those energies. In line with this, it tells me if you're in alignment with the King of Coins, don't get too cocky about it. Don't get too foolhardy or reckless. Make sure that you find balance. Look up this card, Libra, if you have any questions about this. But this is Knight of Wands, Knight of Fire. And this is all about finding balance between being too cocky and being cautious. So that's that card. And then you also have Empress. She's in reverse, but she's there. And this card is a great card of fulfillment, of everything is abundant, prosperous, fertile. Everything grows where Empress shows up. So she's a great card. She's a card of pregnancy. She's a card of satisfaction, sexual satisfaction, as well as sensual. She's a card of just fulfillment. She's card number 3. So she's towards the beginning of the deck. She's the plants are growing, everything's fertile. She's also a card that's associated with Venus, so it's about pleasure, it's about monetary fulfillment. It's like everything is growing around Empress. So in this case, I hope that you're able to access that. In line with this, it's saying there may be some fighting within your relationships and it's stopping you from fully being Empress, fully being the woman who is satisfied, who is complete, who's everything. She just sits in her throne and enjoys the world. So see if, it may be that when this conflict resolves, that you're able to access that Empress energy, but it is there for you towards the end of the month. And then once you go through whatever grieving you need to do, or sadness, or preoccupation with being sad, if you don't have the relationship that you want, you can be sad about that. But you'll also get to a point where you're in acceptance, and you might find some enlightenment with that. Hangman is a card of, he's hanging upside down. Everyone is kind of like looking at him, and he's in a certain amount of discomfort. But the thing about Hangman is that he leans into his discomfort. He actually kind of like settles into it. And in the Rider-Waite, he's got a halo around his head. So he comes to a point of enlightenment, from just doing things his own way, from being true to himself, from actually like settling into accepting himself and accepting the fact that not everyone's going to understand him. He sometimes feel different or set aside from the rest of the crowd, but he's okay with that. And he finds his own comfort in just kind of settling into his own way of being. And that's a really nice sort of finish to the month for you, is that, even though there may be some discomfort here, there may be some way in which you feel like you can't access the full person that you are, the full woman, or if you're a male, you can't access this woman who's full and rich and complete. If you have some despair about that, or some disappointment or grieving, you're actually going to come to a nice place of acceptance and comfort with who you are and how you might be different. And, you're actually going to end up feeling very comfortable there. So that's a reading for you, Libra. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I just want to thank everyone who's been doing bookings with me for personal readings, and also for all of your likes and subscribes and shares. I really appreciate it. So thanks, everyone.